The meeting of the Minnehaha Creek Watershed District Board of Managers on October 10th, 2019. All managers are present. There are no members of the public present, so I'm looking for an approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Manager Maxwell, is there a second?
Second.
Manager Rognus, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? On the consent agenda this evening, we have approval of the September 26th, 2019 board minutes. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move approval.
Manager Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Manager Olson, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? President's report, I will tell you that I was really happy to be on a tour with the new managers, with Manager Hejmati and Manager Maxwell, on the Minnehaha Greenway. And several properties. We thank staff, Ms. Shuffler and Ms. Jonley and Mr. Sherman for making that happen. And I wondered if, put you guys in the spot, if you had any questions or observations based on that tour.
I was very impressed with the Cottageville Park. It's a jewel.
Mm-hmm.
It's a jewel. I was astounded by how beautiful it is. And I want to support what Manager Miller had said, which is that the triangular area, the 325 Blake, I think it's called, really needs to be a jewel too. I agree with that.
325 Blake Road's a great property.
Yeah, it's
Totally.
tremendous.
I probably just will second that motion. But I really, the whole thing was really good. It was just, you just see, there's a lot of places that I really never been familiar with that you kind of just all of a sudden realize, the work and effort that, the people before me really did down there. And staff is really good. I mean, they understand what's going on, and they're energetic, and they're friendly, and they're knowledgeable, and that's the biggest thing. I think it just helps a long ways to realize that, like I said, I haven't been to a lot of places that we're always talking about, but it's, when you get out there and start looking at it, you can just see what's the effort and the work and dedication that other people have.
It's nice to be able to visualize the projects we're talking about.
Yes.
The areas, yeah. Well, that we'll have more of those and get you guys all familiar with everything, right? And then let's go to Operations and Programs Committee meeting report. Manager Loftus.
Thank you, Madam President. We discussed 4 items tonight, and I'll be really brief since all of the managers were present. Staff gave us updates on the real-time sensors that they are looking to purchase in 2020. These are water level sensors that give live information and would be useful in our flooding and emergency planning efforts. We also got an update on Wasserman Park design. That's moving along, and we'll continue to get updates within the next month for sure about where we're at and where we're going. The third item was some boardwalk maintenance issues, specifically in the preserve area, and working with our contractors from 5 years ago on getting those replaced and making sure they're safe for the public. And then lastly, it's at least the second time I believe that we've talked about a land opportunity in St. Louis Park that would support some potential stormwater capacity in an area that desperately needs some help. So we are continuing to talk about that, and I think that'll be back before us as well, the full board.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Citizens Advisory Committee report. Manager Miller.
There was a presentation on the strategic communication and engagement preliminary research finding, and I was a little troubled by the fact that there seemed to be a concentration on the issues brought up by not the interviews of the stakeholders and all that, but the issues that were brought up by the online interviews. And it seemed like that they were focusing too much on some negative comments that weren't representative because the sample was so small and specialized. So hopefully that can get straightened around, but I didn't feel equipped or obligated to straighten everybody out. But I think that when the final plan they're ready, the CAC is ready to be a full participant in the communication and education program. So, and they're fully engaged. Compared to several years ago, you know, they're really knowledgeable. The staff is doing a good job of serving their needs, and I think they're ready to make major contributions, which they will be doing on the new rules. So, and they're looking forward to that. So,
Great, thank you. The upcoming meeting and event schedule is posted here. The Metro Mod meeting has been relocated to the Mississippi WMO office in Northeast Minneapolis. And Manager Maxwell is the assigned liaison. Then looking forward, notice that these are non-typical dates, November 7th, as we adjust for the holiday months. And then I have the next Citizens Advisory Committee meeting. Let's go, I should ask, do other managers have events or meetings they want to report on? Okay. We'll go to item 11.1, Resolution 19088. Ms. Reynolds.
Thank you, President Wright. Managers, tonight we have in front of you the selection of a new district bank, or the possibility for a selection of a new district bank. We have completed our RFP process, and we have completed interviews, and now we have it with a staff recommendation for you this evening. So tonight we'll kind of go over a little summary of our current bank, and then summarize the proposals that we received, and then our recommendations and next steps that we would take based off of tonight's action. So our current bank is Alerus Bank. It was formerly Beacon Bank. They bought them out in approximately sometime during 2016. And when you combine Beacon Bank and Alerus Bank, they've been the district bank for approximately 24 years at this point in time. Since Alerus purchased Beacon in 2016, we have not completed an RFP. So this would be the first one since that merger or purchase occurred. You can kind of see the summary, just kind of looking at a few of the points there for what we have and what we've had for rates that we're earning on our ICS account, which is where the bulk of our general operation funds is located. It started at a 0.38%, and then in August, when the RFP was out, it was raised to a 1.2% interest that we're earning on that money. That account holds throughout the year anywhere from about $12 to $15 million, depending on where we are at in regards to tax payments and tax settlements coming in. So you can see through 2017, through year to date in 2019, the annual interest that we've accrued on that account. This year we're at about $85,000 to date. So with the proposals, we sent out proposals. We sent it directly to 5 banks, and 3 banks responded to us. In addition, we did place it on our website and send it out to the League of Minnesota Cities, so it was publicized so people could, anybody, it was open to the public for anybody to propose for us. But Alerus Bank, US Bank, and Bremer Bank were the 3 proposals we received in. This is kind of just a brief summary of a whole lot of information that was contained within their proposals. Trying to pull out some of the key pieces for you. You can see Alerus's investment rate that they are proposing would be a 1.7% on the ICS account that we currently have, so that would increase to that. US Bank proposed in a 1.85. They did propose with their 4M fund, which is a municipal funds that we can use that are statutorily in compliance with Minnesota law, but they're actual US Bank only, and using their banking and their accounts and their interest rates was higher than utilizing the 4M fund, so I didn't put the 4M fund up there. So they're 1.85 with an earnings credit rate of 1.25 and then Bremer at 2.07. The estimated annual earnings that you have on there is just to provide you a benchmark. It's not my saying that this is what I think we're going to get in the next year. So this is looking at a consistent balance of the 15,275,030 in there, which is kind of when we put out the proposal was a balance in our bank account at that point in time. And then looking at the earnings credits rates, how they proposed account setups, and kind of their average fees based off our average usage. So trying to put a comparison line in there for your review to see what it could look like, what those rates would look like for us. But it's not to say that that's what I would anticipate for the next year, just because our balance is not consistent and we have to get into the accounts and get everything set up. Some of the key things that we noted throughout the interview process and through the proposals, online application support, when we're looking at that, one of the big things for us was the in-house support. Both US Bank and Bremer provided. Alerus Bank, we have to call third-party vendors for like remote deposit. Some of it goes to Alerus Bank, some of it goes to a third-party vendor, so you kind of play between the two. The enhanced security, which provides you with your online support, so you have enhanced security with any of the actions that you're taking online, just with account access and if you're doing anything there. The customer service was another big piece that we saw that kind of drove home a few points for us and really made staff's recommendation. You can see the relationship manager is on both US Bank and Bremer. Alerus Bank, the relationship manager that is there has left bank, and so he's no longer around, and we don't really have a firm relationship manager at this point in time. The treasury management piece is pretty consistent across the board. US Bank has a customer service call center for support, but what really hit us was Bremer Bank has a treasury management person who's a trainer and dedicated to support. So it's not just your treasury management specialist that's looking at how your accounts are set up or your online applications and helping you ensure that those are set up, but they're dedicated to providing you the support to make sure that you're utilizing those and you understand how to use them and provide you training, which really kind of stood out as being something really a positive when you're looking at the customer service piece. The reporting, kind of across the board, Alerus has indicated they have CSV possibility for reports, which would allow us to download reports and input them directly into our accounting system. Unfortunately, right now, we have none of that available to us, and we didn't really see any of that, so I'm not sure how all that is and how in-depth that is. US Bank and Bremer Bank both have multiple formats available, and they interface with multiple financial systems, which really will allow to streamline and help you with your reconciliations and everything that you have to do on the finance side of looking at your banking. So that was kind of the highlights for us as we looked at it across the board with their proposals that they brought in and with the interviews. And in the interviews process, we did have Baker Tilly, who has been kind of the lead on helping us with the banking proposal or the banking RFP. In addition to AEM Financial Services, Jean McCann was involved as our new kind of the district accountant. Part of what they do is provide us assistance with these kinds of things, and so they were involved with all of the interview processes as well. So kind of the next steps. Staff would recommend the selection of Bremer Bank. The rates were the highest. They show, if we kind of do that annualized across the board, it showed the highest return for the district in there. And really when we took the step back and we looked at it, the key thing that stuck out and that divided the banks was really that kind of that treasury management specialist that really provided the training and support. And we were impressed with like the online reporting and the different things that they had available for us to really ensure the safety, segregation of our accounts, and the accountability and fraud protection. So staff would recommend that tonight the board select Bremer Bank and authorize staff to move forward with transitioning our banking services to Bremer Bank. It will be approximately a 60-day process, if we're talking to the banks through the interview process, to transition all the services. We would kick off with an initial meeting with the bank to really kind of define our account structures and the setups of all the accounts. They would prepare the paperwork, which would then be presented for the executive committee to sign. and then we would work into the implementation of the treasury management solutions, which is all the online banking options, our remote deposit, our positive pay, our reports, the capability of getting reports and so forth. And then work with our vendors, any of the ACHs that we have set up, and with the state and the counties for the remittance when they're sending us money, because they send that directly into our bank account. So we have to get all of our information out and the updated information out to everybody so they can do that. So we're looking at approximately a 60-day transition, which would allow us to hopefully have everything in place and set and really ready to go with the new year with the designation of the new depository district funds for 2020. With that, I'm open for questions on any of the information on the banks or the interviews or anything else that we had. Any questions that you may have?
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 19088?
So moved.
Manager Rognes, is there a second?
Second.
Manager Hajmati, are there questions for Ms. Reynolds? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank
Thank you.
you. Ms. Christopher, we have Resolution 19089.
That's gonna look good.
All right, thank you, Chair White and managers. Tonight staff's requesting approval of the local water plan for the City of Independence. I'll follow kind of the usual outline here, starting just with the location, the issues and strategies identified in the district's plan for this part of the watershed, and then a few highlights from the city's plan, including some of their implementation priorities, their coordination plan, and regulatory authority. So the City of Independence occupies approximately 4.8 square miles in the northwest portion of the district, outlined here in red. And the map to the left just shows the total extent of the city, which is primarily located in the Pioneer-Sarah Creek Watershed Commission. And so it's kind of the lower southeast portion of the city that's within our watershed. And that is entirely within the Painted Creek sub-watershed, kind of covers the middle portion of that drainage area. And it includes 3 of the 4 large wetlands that were identified for restoration through the 2010 feasibility study that we did with the Army Corps of Engineers, including Sobey Marsh, Potato Marsh, and Painter Marsh, all along Painter Creek there, which is kind of the focus of some of the planned future restoration in that geography. In terms of kind of the main issues in this part of the watershed, there are impairments for Jennings Bay, which is the downstream receiving water body for nutrients, and then the lower reaches of Painted Creek are also impaired for E. coli. And then throughout the system, there have just been a number of historic impacts in terms of alteration to stream channels and wetland ditching and things of those nature that have resulted in some degraded and disconnected habitat as well. In terms of management strategies out here, it is kind of the third focal geography identified in the district plan, albeit a little further out in the plan cycle. And the strategies identified under there, which we've pursued kind of comprehensively in coordination with partners out there, is wetland and stream restoration, corridor connection, potentially carp assessment. There are carp in Jennings Bay and some of the adjacent bays that are likely traveling up through the system. And then, of course, stormwater management, and then buffers and manure management to address the E. coli issues as well. And then, of course, just the protection side of things through our regulatory program. So in terms of priorities identified in the city's implementation plan, they did speak to kind of the projects and plans identified in the district's plan, including the 2010 core study and these large wetland restorations, and flagged that for any kind of land use changes that are planned, in those areas, they would coordinate with us to see if there's opportunity to, gain easements or that kind of thing, to pursue those projects down the road. And then other things they've identified is just kind of how they are going to regulate new development, with a lot of this area being, still agricultural and not really very developed so far, and then promoting low-impact development with that. And they also have a manure management policy that they talk about how they'll enforce that. And then finally, just maintenance of any existing stormwater system facilities that they're responsible for. And then their coordination plan, like the others that you've seen, just provides a framework for how we'll coordinate in the areas listed here. So through an annual meeting, through land use planning, again, particularly around some of those wetlands and identified project areas, as well as coordinating on regulation, any public infrastructure improvements, and then education programming. The city does not currently and is not proposing to obtain any permitting authority for district regulations, and the district is also the local government unit for Wetland Conservation Act, and will remain so. So with that, staff has verified that Independence's local water plan meets all the necessary requirements and is recommending approval. Any questions?
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution 19089?
Move approval.
Manager Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Manager Olson, are there any questions for Ms. Christopher? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we'll keep you there as acting administrator to give us your report.
Yeah, I got a few items. Luckily, things have been pretty quiet while James has been out. And if you haven't heard, it sounds like there's a chance his return could be delayed, hopefully not too much. The typhoon expected to hit Tokyo the day he's scheduled to fly out. So all kinds of things are happening with flights being rescheduled, so he's keeping us posted there. But
Talk about a way of extending your vacation.
Right.
How do you?
We had to choose between catching your last soccer game or trying to get out early, and we decided to stick it out, so we'll see
Soccer.
how that decision works for
Tough decision.
Rugby.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
right.
Rugby.
Sorry.
They're all the same.
No, but yeah, hopefully they're staying safe and smart out there, but, so, yeah, we've got several, updates from staff, a couple presentations coming up. Tom Dietrich and Chris Meehan will be presenting at the Water Resources Conference on Wednesday, the 16th, talking about permitting through partnership, which is gonna be highlighting the Mader Wetland Bank example, and kind of taking an in-depth look at that project, and then using that to kind of demonstrate how we're trying to shift the focus of that program to be more partnership focused and looking for opportunities. And then Tiffany Schaffler will be co-presenting with the National Weather Service staff and Hennepin County staff at the Northern Plains Weather Workshop in St. Cloud on the multi-agency partnership to predict, observe, manage, and communicate water levels across the watershed. That is October 24th to 25th. And I think Anna maybe touched on this in committee, but the district and the city hosted an open house on Monday, this past Monday, for the Wasserman Lake Park project. It was well attended, and residents provided a lot of useful feedback on the different park elements. But overall, there seems to be strong support for the work out there. And then Laura Damjancic passed along that Mayor Hovland will be hosting a Walk with the Mayor event in Arden Park on Saturday, October 19th, from 9 to 10 in the morning. The park is nearing substantial completion, with all trails being constructed, so it's an opportunity for residents to kind of get out and experience the transformation that's happened out there in advance of the ribbon cutting. And Laura will be attending that to answer any questions and provide some of the project specifics. And then finally, Minnehaha Preserve was selected for MOD Project of the Year finalist, one of 3 finalists for the MOD Awards this year. So they will be kind of presenting on that and
Can I ask a question on it? When you talk about May Preserve, do you talk about the Japs Olson project too? Is it an element in that?
I'm not sure if that was part of the write-up, do you know? Yeah, I'm not sure on that.
Because that really extends the
Right.
benefits a great deal on that.
I think it probably does provide the context of kind of the whole greenway, but I don't know for certain how that was written
Okay.
up.
Thanks.
And then I think Tiffany wanted to give a water level update.
So I sent an email I think it was last week, that we officially have the wettest water year, but now we've also kind of this week gone up and down with the wettest year to date. So we're a little over, almost 37.5 inches of rain. So that's over 11 inches above normal. If it rained no more the rest of the year, we'd be the 8th wettest year on record. And where we're at with Lake Minnetonka, it's currently at 929.32. So that's pretty similar to where we were at in 2016, which was the wettest year ever on record. So kind of tracking where we were there that year. Working to draw down the lake, but when it doesn't stop raining, it's hard to just keep up with what's coming in. So we're kind of just holding steady right there at the moment. The long range looks dry, so hopefully we'll start to make some headway next week. The Nokomis Weir was opened on Monday, just closed this morning because of the perfect game for the next few days. So hopefully we can get that open again, probably Sunday or Monday. But the lake was just slightly above OHW for Lake Nokomis. Other than that, kind of just all water levels are kind of elevated and high. I noticed yesterday I drove back over the Mississippi how that was roaring. So yeah, just statewide, the USGS has said a lot of the streams and lakes have just been above average the entire years.
There was some pumping of those lakes that have no outlets. Is that still going on?
Yeah, I was talking with Tom Dietrich. We need to circle back with a lot of those cities because we get notified when they start, but don't always get notified when they stop those things. So next week, circle back with folks to see if they're still happening.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for staff? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.